See what this baby's got inside it.
Hey, what's up, guys? Brett from Hapticast and Sony here.
Bark, bark.
Ew.
Who suck you off, Bill?
Oh, Josh, I hear screaming.
Oh yeah!
It's gone. The controller's gone.
Look at that. You look fucking fantastic.
Welcome to Haptic HQ.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hapticast, episode number 107. My name is Josh Toll, and I'm joined by my good friend Brett Roberts, as always. Brett, hello. How are you? Nice.
I'm doing good.
Welcome to Haptic Intel. Welcome to Hapticast. This is Haptic Intel's video game podcast where we talk about video games, reacting to the weekly news, stuff like that. We have a great show for everybody today, Brett. But first of all, I want to say something.
Oh, no.
Succession is over.
The show on HBO.
Show is over, and I'm CEO, so
Josh won.
I won.
Congratulations.
Anyway, this is a video game podcast. We have a great show for everybody today. We will be probably talking Succession a little bit, though, just so everybody knows at the top of the show.
We will.
I'm very red. I look angry. I don't know what's going on with that. So hopefully listen to this on audio platforms. So let's see. First of all, we have a bunch of new people subscribing. So I want to thank people for that. Lots of new subscribers, lots of new viewers. So that's been great. I think our goal is still, obviously to hit 1,000 subs if we can or more by the end of the year. And I think we're on track with that. I was looking at some analytics today. So, people could help us with that. That'd be great.
Yeah, and I think you and I could talk about some kind of a giveaway or doing something, a goal for if we hit that 1,000 subscriber mark.
Sure. You get to play Smash Brothers online with us, and we win.
That doesn't sound like a very good reward.
I don't know.
That would be cool, though, doing a live stream where people can join and just play Smash with us. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, but dude, the fucking lag is so bad.
Yeah, but people do it.
People do it, but
I almost feel like playing an older version of Smash online with like a mod would be better than Smash 4
for sure,
or Smash Ultimate.
For sure, but we can't use Dolphin on Steam.
Because...
Yeah.
Can't use Dolphin on Steam. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of, we have a good show for everybody today. So we're doing our media consumption update like we always do. Some upcoming video game releases, including a couple big ones coming. Mainly, obviously, we're talking about Silent Hill Ascension with the new trailer, and also looping in there just some other stuff about as far as Dusk Golem saying that we could expect more trailers, for like all of like the heavy hitters that have been announced from Konami in regards to Silent Hill. So we'll be talking about that. Talking about CD Projekt Red dismissing rumors about being acquired by Sony. Again, talking about Nintendo and emulation yet again. Talking about Comcast trying to get into video games, which
again,
not good. Talking about Nvidia just had their keynote a couple days ago, 2 days ago at the time of recording this, with something really, really fucking massive there. That's kind of mind blowing. That they unveiled and talked about. And then we're just wrap up with our quick PlayStation Showcase general thoughts, as I mentioned on the stream last week for the showcase. In summary, it was bad, but we have some voicemails from the audience, which you can also call and leave in a voicemail if you want to get heard on the show. Thoughts, ideas, questions, comments, corrections, ideas, thoughts. I don't know what
it's a lot of things you could do.
Yeah, whatever you want, basically. That is, so you can call 904 True Cult. That's 904-878-2858, and maybe you'll get heard on the show if we like what you have to say. So, or just
right.
I don't know, fart into the microphone too. So maybe we'll put it in our soundboard.
I'd love that. Yeah, I would literally add it to our soundboard if you did that. So
yeah. So anyway, Brett, without further ado, let's hop into it, shall we? Media consumption update. What we're playing, watching, doing, reading, any form of media that we're consuming.
Yeah.
So I think you're up. Why don't you go?
Yeah. Okay. I'll go first. So I'll start with a movie that both of us have watched over the weekend. That's Sisu.
Yeah. Sifu.
So Sisu is a new movie. It's an action movie. It's a revenge tale. It's literally John Wick, but with Nazis, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you it slapped. I liked it a lot. I think I liked it more than you. You didn't seem as high on it as I did, but
I liked it.
You liked it. Yeah.
I liked it. Yeah.
We both enjoyed it. I'm gonna close my window. I totally forgot to do that. Apologies. But yeah, I had a good time with Sisu. And this is a very minor spoiler, but my review basically sums up the movie as we should normalize throwing mines at Nazis' heads.
Yeah.
Because that's something that happens in the film. They throw it like a frisbee. Sorry.
Yeah.
So that's what we need to normalize. That needs to be something that we do. And yeah, I like that movie a lot. It was pretty cool. Now, here's the thing, Josh. I found out that Netflix actually just released a movie with a very similar plot about a gold miner that gets chased by Nazis.
Huh.
I heard that. I wondered actually that there's this thing called twin films. Have you heard of this?
Twin films? No. I mean, as a concept, I don't think so. No.
So it's basically when a script is like shopped around different production studios and it gets picked up by one, but another studio tries to like cash in on that. And they make a movie that is like really, really similar. And I'm not talking about like Transformers and Transmorphers where they just kind of like rip off like it's not quite the same thing. Like it wasn't the plot wasn't exactly the same. They just take the general theme of the movie. Like it was about a gold miner. I don't even think it was in English. I think it was a foreign film where it was also kind of a foreign film as well. But this was even more of a foreign film where like everything was in a different language. So yeah, I learned about that. And I think that's pretty abysmal.
Well, I feel like we've seen that before. I didn't realize it was like a thing, but I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, apparently that's a thing. So
yeah.
Anyways, I watched Sisu. I liked it a lot. I've been playing a lot of Tears of the Kingdom. I'm about 30 something hours in. I just beat the third dungeon or the third third dungeon temple, the third temple. So I have one more left. I think I'm going to stop and do a shitload of shrines and get my health up.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting one-shotted by everything still. It's really bad. I have like 9 hearts and I'm just getting I know. My stamina is 2 full circles. So we get it, dude.
No, I'm just saying, what are you doing to yourself?
I'm just playing the game.
You're making it harder. You're making it like Dark Souls, dude.
Well, I am, and I like that. But it is getting a little ridiculous where I feel like certain things are really cheap. Like in a boss fight, I'll die, and I'm like so close to beating it. So yeah, I'm gonna grind a little bit.
Sometimes you just need hearts to just plow through it.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's cool and all. I'm loving Tears of the Kingdom still. I'm loving Zelda. But here's the thing, dude. This weekend for me was just big events and finales, season finales, series finales. A lot of stuff came out in the world of TV. So first of all, I didn't list it here, I forgot, but I watched AEW's pay-per-view Double or Nothing
How was
Sunday night. I had a great time with it. It was a lot of fun. If you're a wrestlehead, you know, it was a pretty good pay-per-view. The beginning kind of dragged a little bit, but and not really, but kind of. And by the end, it had a double main event. So the first main event was the World Heavyweight Championship match, MJF versus Jungle Boy versus Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara, a.k.a. the 4 pillars of AEW, the 4 young talents that were signed day one, all competing in a fatal 4-way match for the title. It was phenomenal. Might have been the match of the year.
Wow.
I'm really happy for the guys in the match because they're all so young and they've been known to like botch a little bit here and there. There were very minimal botches. Everything went over very smoothly. The match was fantastic. We knew who was going to win, and that's fine. But it was great. And then the final main event of the night was the Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club, which is Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, a.k.a. Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, and Wheeler Yuta. And that was also a bloody fucking mess of a match. They had a band playing Wild Thing for like Jon Moxley's entrance music live on like at the top of the stage. And just like last year where they played his theme song throughout the whole match, the band played the whole match. And they did not stop performing until the Elite walked over to him. They're like, dude, what the fuck? Why are you still playing? And the singer ripped his shirt open and he had a Blackpool Combat Club t-shirt on.
That's cool.
And they super kicked him. And then that's when it was over.
Cool. That's cool.
So it was a really cool main event, double main event. And I had a lot of fun with it. But here's the thing. I watched that. And in doing so, I did not watch the Succession finale until like 1:30 in the morning. And we'll talk about that in a minute because I know we both watched that. I'll use that as my segue for us to kind of discuss that a little bit. I watched the first episode of Silo yesterday. I finished it. I know I told you I started it. I finished it. I'm intrigued about this sci-fi world a lot.
It's interesting, dude.
It's cool. I think it's really funny. Like, basically, they live in a world where, like, you say, I want to leave the silo, and they're like, okay, well, now you have to leave. And they put you out there, and, like, your one job is to, like, wipe the camera lens, and then you die.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's what happens. So, I don't think that's actually what happens. I think it's a ruse. We'll see.
Dude, I'm telling you, if you get to the twist in this, whenever it happens in the show.
Are you watching it?
I'm behind. I'm still only on the 3rd episode. I'm reading the books right now. If you get to it and you don't want to pull your eye sockets out of your head and tell me that is not the coolest thing you've ever seen in sci-fi, just as a concept, besides what I told you with Arrival last week, then you never have to take a recommendation of mine ever again.
Okay. Can I tell you my hypothesis of what I think is happening?
Sure. Yeah.
So I don't want to know, but just so I can say I'm right if I'm right, or, whatever. I'm close. Yeah. So just from the first episode, it seems as if they live in a experiment of some sort in which, and I'm not looking at your face either. They're in a experiment of sorts, and they're allowed to leave whenever they want. However, they have to say they want to leave, and that's why when you say it, you have to leave. That's my theory, and I'm sure it's much more than that, but that's it.
Okay,
is that an interesting theory?
It's a very interesting theory.
Okay,
it's a very interesting theory.
Okay, so that's that. And then I also watched the finale, the series finale. I'm sorry, I'll start with this. The season finale of Yellow Jackets season 2.
Oh.
I'm down on that show. The ending of the second season.
You're telling me not to watch it?
The second season sucked, in my opinion.
All right. I'm not
completely fell flat. I feel like, and this is, listen, I'm not like, I probably shouldn't even say this, but yeah, I feel like every male character in that show is written to be a fucking maroon, dude.
A mark?
A mark, dude. A fucking mark.
A bunch of jobbers.
And listen, I love the show. Season 1, I loved. And I'm not complaining that it's a female-led show. I just feel like every male character is a cuck or a criminal or an abysmalite, or they die. Okay?
Just like real life.
Just like real life. But that's not why I didn't like it. I just feel like the ending happened. It was just out of nowhere, and certain things happened in the scene. I just am not a fan. So
gotcha.
I might be dropping that show. We'll see.
Okay.
But the bigger thing that happened was the series finale of Barry. The entire series is wrapped up. I'm here to tell you, this show could have ended season 3 and everything would have been fine. They did not need the 4th season.
Really?
They didn't need it.
Wow.
It's cool that it exists. They do a time skip 8 years later. A lot is different. A lot changes. I'm here to tell you, they didn't need to do it. Did not need to.
Are you telling me I shouldn't watch the last season?
You should. You should. Okay. I still think it's good, and it's artsy, and I think Bill Hader does some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I think
can you hear that, by the way? There's like work going on outside of my house.
Just barely.
Okay.
You don't have to mute yourself or anything.
Okay.
I think Bill Hader does a lot of cool stuff with the character of Barry, and I think he does a lot of. I mean, he's a writer too, and I think there's a lot of cool stuff that happens, and a lot of like really funny. He's funny, dude. Like, he thinks about certain things that you don't really think about, like. And this is, I guess, kind of a spoiler, but I'm just gonna say it because it's not really a spoiler. But there's a scene where Barry goes, he needs guns, and he's like he's on a warpath. He's like going to kill someone. And he goes to a Walmart and just walks in and says, I need guns. And he walks out with like an arsenal strapped to his back. No questions asked. But like, that's such like a Bill Hader joke of like just being able to walk into a Walmart and just get all of these weapons.
Listen, dude, America.
For real. And there's also like a lot of tongue-in-cheek like Hollywood jokes, like against Hollywood. So yeah, I think you should watch it. However, I don't think it was necessary. Now, here's the thing, Josh. I say that, but here's another show that just ended, Succession.
Yeah.
The series finale, and I don't want to spoil anything for our friends watching because the finale did just happen, and we do have some friends that are watching it as well.
Yeah.
What did you think of the? Well, I kind of know, but let our people know. What did you think of the Succession finale?
I'm still pretty mixed on it. I mean, I don't think it's bad, and I think everything makes sense, and I'm totally fine with the way that it concludes, right? And who becomes CEO and all that crap. To me, it just I feel like it didn't resolve or give me anything, which is fine. And there's a lot of shows where that works, but it also to say why I really don't like it, it would be a spoiler. But I just you invest all this time and to not get rewarded at all a little bit feels bad to me. And I know it's hard to end TV shows, but it ended very moody and contemplative and abysmal, and it gave you
Abrupt.
nothing that you wanted, and very abruptly.
Yeah.
I mean, the resolution happens in the span of like 12 minutes.
Very little closure. It's an hour and a half episode,
Yeah.
and yeah, the resolution is very
And
quick.
right. And the build up to the resolution is awesome. But when the resolution finally happens, it's like a puff of smoke,
Yeah.
and then that's it.
So I agree with you. I was on board with you. Like that is exactly how I felt the first day or so after I watched it. And then I was online and I was reading some stuff and I texted you some things as the kind of softened that for me a little bit.
Mhm.
And then I think about Barry and I think about how they did have that extra season. And because I said to you, like, they could have even just one more episode, I feel like, of Succession would have done so
Yeah.
good and it would have done so much for them. But then I think about Barry and I'm like, they had a whole extra season and I almost feel like they ruined it.
Mhm.
So I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah. I need to sit on it a little bit more. But yeah, I need to sit on it a little bit more because I put it in the
Yeah.
upper echelon with like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. And when those shows ended, I was like
What a
cheering.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not because I necessarily liked what happened either. It's just it was what it was and it was perfect. And this show it ended and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
However, I'll say this though. The Sopranos, also one of the greatest TV shows of all time, in my opinion. I felt the same way about the ending initially when I watched it. And then over time, I was like, you know what? That's such a fucking big dick move to end it that way. I'm good with it. So,
Yeah. And I kind of feel the same way about Succession because I feel like the showrunners were like, we don't owe them anything, the viewers. Like, we've been telling them this whole time that all of these every character on this show is a piece of shit. We've
yeah.
literally shown them. And even with like Walter White, you wanted Walter to win, even though he was the bad guy,
Mhm.
right? Objectively, he was the criminal, the bad guy, the villain of the story. But you wanted him to win because he was your guy. And I should probably stop now because I don't want to spoil anything for Succession. But I feel like a lot of people are upset because they didn't get what they wanted.
Yeah.
But I think that that's the whole point,
Yeah. I agree.
you know?
I mean, and it's corporate America. And there's a comment made by the person, the actor or actress that became the
The winner of the whole
the
thing.
winner of the whole thing said something very poignant about that. It's just corporate America and the wheel keeps on churning. And that is the ending.
Yeah.
So
That's right. All right.
Anyway.
What else are you watching?
Yes. So I watched the first episode of I Think You Should Leave, the new season. It came out.
I'm hearing not great things, my man.
I didn't love the first episode. And it after the first sketch, now I will say I still laughed and there's some gems in there. But after the first sketch, I was like, oh no. Have we taken like the beer goggles off and we realize what's going on now? Is every bit the same thing? And that's how I feel after the first episode, where I was like, is the Tim Robinson isms becoming too much? So
we need to go back to Detroiters for a little bit, I think.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I still laughed a lot. There's some great parts, there's some great bits, some very memeable moments, but it's a lot of the same. I don't really know, I guess, what else I expected. But maybe this is why sketch comedy shows don't go on forever.
Yeah. I'm excited to check it out.
So anyway, but I mean, that's only the first episode. I still want to watch. I'm gonna watch everything, obviously. I mean, I'm fucking here for it. So Succession, we talked about books. I started the second book in the Silo series called Shift.
Nice.
I'm about 3/4 of the way through that. So that's pretty good.
What's the third book called? The Experiment, where you can leave if you just tell everyone that you want to leave?
No. The third
Oh.
book is called Dust.
Ah,
So it's
what you turn to if you participate in the experiment.
Will, Shift, and then Dust. And I have a bone to pick with Amazon about Shift. Okay. I bought the other two books because I had Wool, but I bought the other two books that matched the version I had of Wool, like the covers. Like it's a set, like it's a set. And they sent me Dust first, which made no sense. They sent me Dust first, and it matches. I got Shift, dude. The cover that they sent me does not match what I ordered, and it doesn't match my set, and I'm not happy about it.
Did it match what you? So it's not what you ordered at all.
No, the cover. I mean, it's the book I ordered. The
Right.
contents are the same, but the cover is different.
Complain.
Yeah.
How much was it? If it's less than $10, then don't worry about it.
Oh, I don't know. It was maybe like $14.
Fight 'em.
But I really wanted to start reading it because I had finished the first book, so I might read it and then return it. I'd go to Barnes and Noble and buy the version I want just to complete. So there's that. Games playing Tears of the Kingdom. I have nothing new to say about that other than it's slick. I keep running into main story quests that I don't mean to. Like I'm like doing shrines and like finding shrines in certain areas, and I keep running into stuff from the main story. And
oh, really?
Yeah, like by accident because we're not tracking any quests. And I did this one shrine, I did this shrine into something else. It's the like how I play the game. It's like, ooh, what's that? And you go over there, and then I went over there and I did something, and then I got something, and I was like, oh, I didn't want to do this yet. Oh, I didn't want to do this yet. And then I did it, and I was like, well, I did it. And then the next shrine I went to was in a place where I was like, oh, this is cool. What's going on here? And it locked me into a main story quest to finish something. And I was like, I don't want to do this yet. So, yeah.
That's good, though. I mean, your natural instinct is to explore where the
but I don't want to do any of that crap yet.
Right.
So, anyway, nothing new to say about that. Movies. Sisu, we already talked about. I have something else that I don't know if you knew. Maybe if you saw it on Letterboxd. I saw The Little Mermaid.
Who wants to play that shit?
And I'm here to tell you.
I don't know about you, but that shit ain't ballin'. Alright.
I'm here to tell you it's good.
I don't give a fuck.
First of all, I didn't really want to see it. Okay. There was some time with family yesterday, and it was what was decided.
You went to the movies on Memorial Day?
Dude. Against my better judgment, but you know what? It paid off because it wasn't bad. However, there's two things that are terrible. Well, three. First of all,
what was the format of the film?
What do you mean?
Was it a standard?
A standard?
IMAX, Dolby?
Oh, Dolby.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Sorry.
I'll relax a little bit.
Dolby. Three things. One, all of the non-human characters looked like shit, and even the human characters look like shit. Some of the CG is really just, it's like bad. It's just not.
And it's
looking.
Disney, bro. What?
Dude, this is the you have access to fucking Weta and ILM. Like, what are we doing, dude?
Well, they don't need to, obviously, because the movie's like making a lot of money, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't. Whatever. There's a song added that is horrendous, and my third issue stems from that is that it's written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and it sounds like any other Lin-Manuel Miranda rap song, and it's awful. You ready for this? You ready?
Wait, so did they just write a song for Little Mermaid?
Yeah. Well,
and they just added it.
He was a producer, and they changed some of the other lyrics and verses and stuff like that, and he did some of the music. But they added a completely new song. There's another couple of new songs too, which I actually liked, and all of the classic songs were in there. But the bird Scuttle?
Yeah, Aquafina, right?
Yes, which Aquafina is great. I like Aquafina, and I think she's actually fine as Scuttle. But the bird's name is Scuttle, and the song that she sings is called Scuttlebutt. Dude, it's so bad. It is bad.
How do they explain Scuttle talking underwater?
Scuttle actually never talks underwater.
In the trailer, you literally see Scuttle in the water.
She's in the water, but I don't remember her talking in the water. I don't know. Who cares, dude? Fucking mermaids.
Dude, there's baby squirrels outside my window right now.
Nice, dude.
Baby. Sorry.
So yeah, it's bad. Limbo Miranda needs to stop. But other than that, I thought it was good. And dude, Melissa McCarthy plays Ursula.
Yeah.
Oscar level performance. I'm not kidding. Dude, she fucking kills it. Kills it. Javier Bardem's in it. He's good. The guy that plays the prince is good. The Halle Bailey that plays Little Mermaid, I thought was excellent.
She plays the Little Mermaid.
She plays the Little Mermaid. Ariel. Whatever. So anyway, that's it. We should move on.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, we should move on. We're 30 minutes into the show and we haven't talked about video games really. So
All right. Well, Josh.
yeah. Yes.
Roll the intro.
Why is that?
Hope so. What's up, everybody? Let's do it. Upcoming video game releases. We don't have an ad today. Oh, I hear myself. Upcoming video game releases. We have the System Shock Remake releasing for PC on May 30th. This game is not doing too hot. That's unfortunate. That's today. It came out today.
Because Ken Levine's not involved.
Gunfire Reborn. I'm looking into this real quick. This is a game I have on Steam Deck that I think actually
it's coming to console now, or the PlayStation consoles.
Okay, it's coming out tomorrow. In 2 days, June 1st. That game slaps. I highly recommend that. Street Fighter 6 is coming out June 2nd. And that's for PC, PS5, Xbox Series S and X, and PS4. And then We Love Katamari Reroll and Royal Reverie comes out for PC, PS5, Xbox Series S and X, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on June 2nd. I played We Love Katamari Reroll on my Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Very confusing game. I don't know what I'm doing.
You just collect shit on your body.
That's right. Amnesia the Bunker comes out on PC, PS5, Xbox Series S and X, PS4, and Xbox One on June 6th. Josh,
yeah.
There's a game coming. Remind me. Is it Amnesia the Bunker that's coming out on Game Pass? Or am I thinking of
hang on,
Outlast Trials?
Well, no. Game Pass.
No.
No, it is coming to Game Pass. Amnesia the Bunker is coming to Game Pass.
There you go. That's what I was thinking of.
So,
is that a multiplayer game or a single player game?
Single player.
Okay. Well, enjoy that on Game Pass for PC and Xbox. I saw. And then the big one, ladies and gents, Diablo 4 comes out on PC, PS5, Xbox Series S and X, PS4, Xbox One on June 6th or June 2nd if you got the special cool edition for Cool Guys. If you have that pre-ordered, you get it 4 days
Is that
early.
what it's called?
I don't know what it's called. That's why I wrote that. That game also had its review embargo drop. And well, I forgot to mention, Street Fighter 6 had its review embargo drop. It's doing well.
Yeah.
Diablo 4's review embargo dropped. It's doing even better. Getting 9s and 10s.
Yeah.
So that's pretty incredible.
Dude, we called it at the end of last year. This is gonna be the biggest year in video games since like 2017, dude.
Yeah, it's a big one. A lot of big games coming out. All right. Well, that's all I got for you in terms of video game releases. Let's hop into our stories, Josh. Which one do you want to start with first?
Let's do Silent Hill first. Let's
All
get
right,
it out of the way. Well, not get out of the way, but you know what I mean. So our main title topic for whatever the podcast today, whatever this fucking thing is called that we're doing, the podcast. So Silent Hill Ascension dropped a new trailer. And we have some new details. And then I also want to talk a little bit about some comments that Dusk Golem made towards the end of last week, or maybe it was over the weekend.
It was Dusk Golem.
Dusk Golem, aka the Static Gamer, is a infamous or famous leaker.
Famous
Leaker on Twitter. Lots of horror and Silent Hill stuff. So even though they said they were done with leaking and all that stuff,
Yeah, they did.
They've they have not been. So let's just say that. Okay. So Konami and developer Genvid have released a new trailer for the upcoming interactive streaming series Silent Hill Ascension. Now, do you want to discuss the trailer here, or do you want me to go through some of the other details first and then we can discuss the trailer?
Let's go through some of the other details first.
Okay. So the series is set to launch in 2023. It promises to incorporate branching storylines and player-based choice, allowing viewers to have a direct and permanent influence on the story and characters. I think a good comparison is like the Dark Pictures games, although it's a little less gamey than that and a little bit more interactive cinematic, it seems like.
Yeah, this screams Twitch plays Pokemon to me, where the community at large will decide what happens to the characters.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to work, but it seems like it's an online stream type of thing where you're basically watching and you can contribute to what happens in the game as you play it.
Right. So it's apparently going to be a canon entry in the Silent Hill franchise, and it will stream on the series' official website and on multiple devices. So the project's creator include Bad Robot Games, which is J.J. Abrams' video game studio, and Behavior Interactive. Silent Hill Ascension obviously is one of several projects in development in Konami's Silent Hill franchise. We'll talk about other titles in a second, but real quick, Brett, I want to talk about the trailer. We're not going to play it here due to copyright reasons, obviously, but I watched it, and I got to tell you, I liked what I saw.
Yeah, me too. It seems like they're creating, a bunch of new characters, a bunch of new enemies or monsters in the Silent Hill universe, and they're all going to be in this series. So I'm excited. It's also being made. I think Behavior is the studio behind Dead by Daylight.
Oh, you might be right. Yeah.
So they have like some pretty big names. I mean, Bad Robot Games. We talked about them getting into video games a couple years ago on the podcast, and we kind of speculated on what that meant. Funny that like their first big game is actually like a movie or a show.
Yeah.
But I guess that's besides the point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. What were your main?
Yeah, I like it. A couple things. First of all, I like all of the creatures and the monsters and just the vibes, the scary, spooky Silent Hill.
You're trying to recreate the pyramid head.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And there's some not good looking stuff in there. And I mean that in the best way. And I really like, to me, when I think Silent Hill, I think like existential dread. I think like getting stuck in loops where like fear plays a big factor of it. Like, is what you're seeing real? Is fear like what loop are you stuck in? How are you portraying, or how are you as the protagonist or whatever the character seeing everything? Like, what is going on? And I think this trailer captures that.
I think so too. So my understanding of the Silent Hill lore is that the creatures are actually manifestations of you or the main character and their flaws.
Right.
So you're led to believe that like every one of these new creatures that they showed off, relates to the main characters in some way, shape, or form. And that's why they're being haunted by them.
Right. And they keep kind of hitting you over the head with that in the trailers. Like, don't like if you give into your fear, like fear is contagious, like it could infect your family, like your past transgressions, like all of this stuff. Really, really cool, like existential dread topics. I think the trailer really just hits the nail on the head with, and I like what we saw.
Yeah, one of the things that I saw that I thought was really cool was there was like a scene where there was a body bag hanging from a ceiling, and it was like glitch twitching, where like it's twitching in a way that is like unrealistic, and it's like almost like the frames are really low, and it reminded me of PT.
Yeah,
a lot, and I like that.
So this is, I guess, potentially one in a string of a couple trailers that we're about to get. So again, I want to go back to Dusk Golem, aka Aesthetic Gamer, aka Leaker, whatever. This is coming. I believe this is from a Discord thread, or their Discord thread. I think they have a Discord community. They said, I don't know the exact date for everything, but I'll just say there's a new Silent Hill 2 remake, Townfall, and Ascension trailer ready to be revealed at least. And this was, I believe, on the 28th. Yeah, so this was Sunday. So this was the day before the trailer dropped.
Yeah, and yesterday he actually he posted like a a weird, like, I don't even know how to describe it, like a poem or something that
Yeah.
like hinted at what was going to be revealed and when we'll expect to see it.
Mhm,
I don't have that on hand. I just saw it on my Reddit feed.
mhm.
But he basically laid out like we're gonna get this here, we're gonna get that there, and we're
Yeah.
gonna get that whenever. So
Um, but the first of which was again this Ascension trailer, which he said would be before Summer Games Fest. People asked how soon. He said like really soon, before June. So that's already done.
Yep.
Summer Games Fest is coming up in the couple weeks. We have the Xbox showcase coming up. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Townfall and the Silent Hill 2 remake trailers pretty imminently. Maybe the last one. I feel like the biggest ones out of all those is probably the remake of Silent Hill 2, which I would
Yeah.
assume would probably be at Summer Games Fest, though. I don't know.
I think it's a or a PlayStation exclusive,
Right.
so it wouldn't be at Xbox's show.
No.
So yeah, Summer Games Fest for that. Maybe Townfall we'll see at Xbox's conference. I don't know, but yeah, you're definitely right. Those conferences are right around the corner.
Hmm. Summer. When is Summer Games Fest? It's June 8th. It's next week, isn't it?
I
June
believe
8th.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
And
next week.
also, I know this is unrelated. Devolver just announced their E3
Oh, I'm
event.
there. I'm there.
They introduced a new character named Volvi.
Oh shit, Volvi.
Bro, it's actually genius. They're acting like he has existed. They're like, we're bringing Volvi back, and like Volvi has never been a thing. And they sent influencers T-shirts with like a retro look that have Volvi on them,
Mhm.
and everyone's tweeting like, "Oh my god, I used to love Volvi when I was a kid." Like everyone's in on the meme,
Mhm.
so it's actually pretty cool. But he basically looks like a rat, like a little rat, dude.
Dude, I'd love Devolver so much. Not only do they actually do release and publish incredible games.
Yeah,
Like they always publish incredible games, but their marketing team, dude, and how they frame their showcases is just second to none. And I remember being there for the first one, if you
Yeah.
remember, and we didn't know what the fuck was going on.
yeah.
And it was
It's more of
awesome.
a cinematic experience than it is an actual conference.
Oh yeah, yeah. Games are second.
Yeah,
Although they do obviously show games.
but they've built like a whole universe now of
Yeah.
lore. So
It's really, really cool.
yeah.
So that's
Anyway,
Silent Hill. We'll have more on it probably in the coming weeks. Looks good. Check out the trailer if you haven't, and hopefully we'll have more to talk about. Specifically, Silent Hill 2 remake. Listen, people are sleeping on Bloober Team. I want to hear some respect put on their name. Okay, people have no
Yeah.
idea. People have
I
no
think
idea.
that game's gonna be good.
Yeah. All right, let's move on, shall we?
All right, let's move on to another story here. CD Projekt Red dismisses rumors that Sony may be acquiring it. This is coming from VGC.
Bye bye.
CD Projekt CEO Adam Kaczynski, which I hope is how you pronounce his name, has denied rumors that Sony is looking to acquire the company. The rumors came after a leaker claimed that Sony planned to purchase the company, which publishes The Witcher and Cyberpunk 2077. However, during an earnings call, Kaczynski stated that CD Projekt is not for sale and the rumors are untrue. He also explained that Cyberpunk 2077, the upcoming Phantom Liberty expansion, will be playable at Summer Games Fest Playdays event. There was also a PR person from CD Projekt that came out on Twitter and said, "We are in no such talks with Sony."
Yeah.
So I think this is either exactly what someone that doesn't want the news to get out would say, like maybe they're still in the early stages of
Right.
talking, or it's not true at all.
So I would lean towards saying that it's not true, but I'm pretty sure the original source was Jez Corden.
Yeah, but he's the one that said it's not true. He came out recently,
Oh.
or he at least retweeted the woman that said
Oh,
it's
okay.
not true.
So maybe he got false information because I thought the original source was fairly reliable. Although I could be
I think it
wrong.
was. I think
be
you are right. I think it was a fairly reliable industry leaker that we've talked about in the past, but it seems like it's not true.
Yeah. Not true, or like you said, they're in the early stages of the deal and they don't want anything falling through, or they don't want it to impact sales, or have their investors, whatever. You know, so that could make total sense too. But regardless, I'm also, I'm gonna play the Phantom Liberty expansion. I expect big things from this shite game that they've turned into a shinier turd. So
Right.
Okay.
All right. What else you got?
oh boy, Brett, we've talked about Nintendo and emulation on this podcast before at nauseum. I got more bad news for you. Okay.
Oh, no.
Nintendo says that emulation, quote, stifles innovation.
What does that even mean?
Oh, I'm about to tell you at least what they think it means. So, for those that use Dolphin, or was expecting to use Dolphin via a Steam release, I got bad news for you. Nintendo has blocked the Steam release of GameCube and Wii emulator Dolphin, claiming that it runs illegal copies of games and bypasses copyright protection measures. So the emulator has been indefinitely postponed after Nintendo issued a cease and desist notice citing the DMCA, so the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. The Wii common key and cryptographic key used by the Wii to decrypt games appears to be the key issue. I don't really know what any of that crap means, but that's what they cited in the DCMA claim. Nintendo recently issued multiple DMCA takedown requests to GitHub to remove a homebrew tool designed to make it possible to play Switch games on an emulator. I'm going to read a quote from a Nintendo spokesperson, Brett. You ready?
Hello, Mario.
Quote, using illegal emulators or illegal copies of games harms development and ultimately stifles innovation. Nintendo respects the intellectual property rights of other companies and in turn expects others to do the same. End quote. That's it. We're ending the show.
No, we're gonna play a copyrighted song from their eShop in response.
Yes. Okay.
We're stifling their creativity right now, Josh.
This is our response.
We're stifling their creativity.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I guess I mean I get it from an executive level company perspective, right?
Yeah.
But first of all, not all games on emulators are illegal copies. Sometimes people dump their ROMs, right?
Yeah.
Second of all, it stifles innovation, bro. It literally fosters innovation. People innovate over what you fucking produce on your stinky versions of hardware that can't fucking run an egg timer.
Yeah, and I mean, people are playing games that they can't play legally any other way, like old Super Nintendo games, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it goes back to our issue that we discussed last week. You're taking away these digital storefronts and these digital games and people's access to it. This is the last line of defense, if you will, for game preservation with a lot of this stuff. Otherwise, it's just gone. So if you don't want it to happen, well, maybe make it yourself. But the fact that you're saying it stifles innovation, I disagree.
Yeah, I think they leave a lot of money on the table, to be honest with you. There's just so much money to be made with old, ports of games and just allowing us to play old games on their hardware. They drip feed it, you know what I mean? And of course there's licensing and there's a lot of issues that I'm sure Nintendo faces when it comes to porting their old games to their newer systems. But it's not hurting them. They're not losing money because the games aren't for sale anywhere else.
Right.
So I don't understand why they wouldn't just, if anything, it's people getting more interested in your games so that you can make a sequel or a remake. You know what I mean? If anything, it's good for them. Yeah. People are getting into Earthbound or Mother 3. You know what I mean? That boosts the public perception of Earthbound and Mother, right? And then maybe they will make another game. Otherwise, no one's ever going to talk about these games. What's a Mother? What's an Earthbound? You know what I mean? Nobody would know what that shit was if we weren't still playing it on emulators and whatnot.
But the other thing is too, is they have to have telemetry from the Nintendo Switch Online stuff that they offer, right?
Yeah.
And see how popular it is.
Well, even when the games were available on the eShop back in the day with the Virtual Console, right? I'm sure they had the data to see how often people bought those games.
So why aren't you doing it? This goes back. I mean, this is always my issue with Nintendo, dude. They have the best software. They have unique, weird hardware, even though a lot of time it's underpowered. They have incredible IP. And they have all those things, yet they're still just the most dense ass backwards company I've ever seen. They're living just completely in their own world. And it's frustrating as a consumer, but from a business perspective, they probably are like, well.
Yeah,
we just sold 10 million copies of Zelda in 3 days.
Right. I was just going to say, we just talked about last week how Nintendo might be moving into the entertainment industry with the success of the Mario movie and Super Mario World theme park, right? So who knows, dude? Maybe they'll lighten their load once they realize how important that IP is. Remember we talked last week about how important it is to have that strong IP that Nintendo has.
Right.
Maybe that's what they're going to realize. I don't know.
I don't know.
Because like,
And it
when's the
doesn't.
last time? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and it doesn't stifle innovation. I know it's Sega, but look at the
No.
Sonic. Look at Sonic, and you're getting creators for the series from
Yeah, Christian
that
Whitehead.
sphere to fucking create
One of
incredible
the best
products.
Yeah, one of the best games that Sonic has released, Sonic Mania, right?
Yeah. So I just fundamentally think they don't know what's going on. They probably don't care. And I mean, who might argue, I guess.
Well, here's the good thing. It's just not releasing on Steam.
Oh yeah. I mean, I still have
Dolphin.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has it.
Yeah.
They were just going to put it on Steam, so it was
Right.
even easier, right?
Right.
So who cares at this point, really? Fuck it. But
Yeah.
whatever.
But it would be easier access for people that maybe don't have as much technical know-how or even where to look.
Right.
So whatever.
And you could get automatic updates and all the cool stuff that comes along with that. But
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And probably Steam database integration and maybe even what's it called? The workshop shit. Who knows?
Right. Well, listen.
Anyway, more yeah.
So that's Nintendo for you. They're stuck in the past. But here's the thing. There's another company that wants to crack an even bigger deal with Nintendo. And that company is Comcast. We're going to hop into this. But before we do, I want to give a little hook, a little message to everyone if you're not subscribed. What's up, everybody? Josh and Brett here, sitting down to talk about cable and media giant Comcast trying to break into gaming with a deal involving EA, Nintendo, and even possibly Activision Blizzard. Comcast marks another entry in a long list of mega corporations trying to break into the gaming space. Comcast joins the ranks of Google and Amazon in trying to stick their nose into gaming as they realize how popular of a medium it is. Will Comcast fail, or will they rise to the occasion?
Yes. You there?
Yes.
Sorry, I thought you froze.
No.
So listen, if you're interested in EA, Nintendo IP, wait a minute. Yeah, no, all right. Okay, this is totally botched.
Yeah, go ahead, just start from the beginning.
Yeah. If you're interested in EA, Nintendo IP, the happenings with Activision, Blizzard, gaming news, reactions, deep dives, and more, you are in the right place. Be sure to hit that subscribe button now to stay up to date on all of our content related to the world of gaming. By subscribing, you'll be part of a community of like-minded individuals who share your passion for gaming. Brett, without further ado, let's hop into the story, shall we?
Let's do it. So, Josh, Comcast CEO Brian Roberts, no relation to me.
Your brother?
Not my brother. He's an old man. Comcast CEO Brian Roberts considers his next big move in the transforming media landscape, potentially exploring a deal involving EA, Nintendo, or Activision Blizzard if Microsoft's planned takeover fails, which it doesn't seem like that's going to happen.
No.
By the way, this is coming from Mergers and Acquisitions or themiddlemarket.com. That's where I found this story. As the largest cable and TV broadband provider in the U.S., Comcast has gotten too big to acquire literally any more cable companies.
Yeah.
But Brian Roberts has embraced the idea of owning more of the content in his cable system. More of the content his cable system can deliver. His next big move will most likely involve Comcast's media division, an entertainment business that includes the NBC broadcast network, a stable of cable channels, the Universal and DreamWorks movie studios, streaming platforms including Peacock, and a stake in Hulu, and theme parks.
Just that alone, dude, that is too big.
They own a lot.
Jesus Christ.
So we're actually hometown boys of Philadelphia. We're
Yeah.
both from Philadelphia, and that is where Comcast has their headquarters.
Yeah.
So we are no strangers. We are no strangers to Comcast Xfinity. They own a lot.
Yeah, they own too much.
Here's the deal. The company has already enjoyed blockbuster success with NBC Universal Pictures adaptation of the popular Super Mario Bros. Game, making it the biggest box office hit of the year.
Yeah, you all right?
Did I say that right? Yeah, adaptation. For some reason, I said Super Mario Bros. Game, and I was like, wait, it's not a game, but it's an adaptation of the game. The timing of any major move by Roberts, this is very important, Josh.
I'm listening.
This is the part that you're going to fucking explode for.
Yes.
The timing of any major move by Roberts could be tied to a likely decision to sell Comcast Hulu's stake early next year. Comcast and Disney have an agreement for Disney to purchase Comcast's 1/3 stake in a deal that values Hulu at a minimum of $27.5 billion. Comcast, meanwhile, also has the option to buy out Disney's majority stake. If Roberts sells, he gets at least $9 billion to pump back into the business, fund a deal, or pay off investors in a share buyback. So the idea would be he would use that $9 million at least to to invest in the gaming
Billion,
space.
9 billion
Billion, yeah,
with
into
a
the gaming
B.
space.
I'll tell you where you can take that money.
Where?
Take it home and shove it up his ass.
I think this makes a lot of sense for him. Seeing the
sure.
success of the Super Mario Bros. Movie,
Oh, sure.
seeing how he owns Illumination,
Sure.
Universal,
Oh, sure.
right? Maybe, Josh, and I'm just saying maybe, this is somehow related to our conversation we had last week about how Nintendo might just become the next Disney.
Yeah. It would make sense on the media perspective, right, to leverage video game IP. I get that. But I'll tell you my big problem. If they take any of that money and they use it to try to build a games division, invest in gaming, develop video games, I'm going to tell you the same thing we told you about Google Stadia
Amazon.
and Amazon. It's going to fail because they don't know what they're doing. We don't want you here.
They're in it for the money rather than the heart.
Right. Can I say it any other way? We don't want you here. And this is another problem with the fucking Western gaming space. They're talking about billions of dollars, money, and shareholders. And video games are unfortunately at a crossroads between art and commerce, and I get that, but there's a way to do it properly and there's a way not to do it properly. And if I had to venture a guess, Comcast would not do it properly. Just a thought.
Right. I mean, we just talked about Nintendo being kind of shitty with their practices, but one thing they do really well is that Nintendo holds on games even when they're finished because there's no rush and they can polish them, they can work on them. Whereas in America, it seems games are made and they have to hit the deadline of the shareholders that the shareholders set, and it's all about the money.
Yeah.
So it's a shame.
Make money now, fix it later.
Exactly. So here's the thing. I mean, out of the companies I mentioned, I think they actually had a deal with EA that kind of fell through, or they tried to do something with EA last year. This doesn't necessarily mean that Comcast is interested in acquiring any of these companies.
No, I don't think so.
It simply means they're trying to make a deal in some way to bring video games into their portfolio.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, that's fine. I mean, I do get it from business perspective, but also, again, just please take your money and just shove it up your ass. I mean, this Comcast is too big. Disney is too big. These fucking companies are too big.
They own everything.
How
it's like
is
ATM.
this not monopolization? How is it not monopolization?
Yeah.
And actually, the answer to that is that it is. But everybody in the government just doesn't give a shit because they're all making money off of it too.
Right.
So
at least we get crossovers though, dude.
Why don't you fucking cross a fucking knife over my neck?
Your Star Wars and your Disney.
I'm so done
and
with
your
everything. I'm done with everything.
It's all crossing over, dude. Your Marvel.
I hate it all. I want to cross my life into death. How about that?
Cross my life into pieces.
Cross over my life into death. All right, let's move on, shall we?
Yes.
All right, Brett. Again, we have a little message for everybody here. What's up, everybody? It's Josh and Brett here, sitting down to talk about a mind-blowing keynote from Nvidia and the new system they revealed to support game development.
Real quick, we got to talk about something. How do you say Nvidia? Because I feel like you say Nvidia.
Nvidia.
It's Nvidia.
Nvidia, yeah.
I feel like you say Nvidia.
Nvidia.
Yeah. I'm just asking how you say it.
Nvidia.
You sound like you're saying it correct.
Nvidia. Okay. Anyway, they revealed a new system to support game development called ACE. To say this is a game changer would be an understatement. This new tech could change the very landscape of video game development.
That's right, Josh. So listen, if you're interested in AI within the world of gaming, Nvidia, gaming news, reactions, deep dives, and more, let me tell you right now, you are in the right place. So be sure to hit that subscribe button now to stay up to date on all of our current content related to the world of gaming. By subscribing, you will be a part of a community of like-minded individuals who share your passion for gaming. Without further ado, let's hop into the story, Josh. What is going on with Nvidia and this AI?
So this is pretty wild. So on May 28th, Jensen Huang, who is, I think, the CEO of Nvidia. Wow, I just did it. You're right.
See?
Wow.
I knew I heard you say it.
Yeah, you're right. Nvidia. No. Yes.
Yes, Nvidia.
Dude, now you're gonna.
That's how I say it.
Now
Nvidia.
thinking about it. Anyway, On May 28th, Jensen Huang of Nvidia, the CEO, I believe, delivered a live keynote presentation. I think it was his first presentation in some like 82 years. Not really, but it was like 4 years.
I need to say right now, he looked fresh as fuck with his
Dude,
bomber jacket on. Like he looks.
he's a good looking fella, no doubt.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
doubt. He's fresh. So Huang announced the Nvidia Avatar Cloud Engine, aka ACE, for games, and it is apparently a customizable AI model foundry service with pre-trained models for game developers. So that's a lot of words there, but basically, long story short, is that it is a database of AI models that can use generative. Not only can you create avatars, but you can use generative voice models to have real-time live interaction with the model, which is, when you think about that in context of video games, it's insane. We'll talk about that more in a second. But basically, it will give NPCs more character through AI-powered language interactions. And what he showed was a real-time AI in video game. Oh my God, that's really bad. He showed off real-time AI in video games, and it's pretty insane. I don't even need that sentence there. Anyway, basically, a human speaks and the NPC responds in real time, and the dialogue was generated with AI.
Unscripted conversation.
Instantaneously. That's a much better way to say it. It was an unscripted conversation with an AI avatar using this ACE engine.
With a real voice from the player.
Right.
Real microphone recording.
Right.
Not recording, speaking.
Right. Yeah. So a human spoke into a NPC in a video game, and the NPC in the video game responded back in real time.
And gave him a quest.
Unscripted. Yeah.
Gave him a fucking quest.
Dude, it's crazy.
He was asked about it later on, and apparently he was like, right now it's not scripted to like go off and create a quest for you. Like it's not like it's creating something that doesn't actually exist in the game and making a new quest. But that could be the future of this technology, which is insane.
Dude, that's what I want to hop into a little bit, is like when you think about this. So if you were developing a video game, right? You create a world, you create maybe story beats, you create rule parameters, you create a world Bible, you create all these things, and then you have these AI models that are boxed into things that make sense within your world, but it's generative within that. Think about how expansive an experience with a video game could become.
You would literally have like never-ending amounts of side quests that you could have in your game. Basically, like they could just generate a quest for you. It's almost like a real living, breathing world, which is kind of weird. Yeah. But it's literally like the real world where you can just walk up to somebody and talk to them, and they tell you like a story that maybe wasn't even coded or written by the actual developers of the game.
And you could train. Like, I'm thinking about, like, if you have characters, right? Like, you have character parameters, so you train specific generative character models, like, of how they would respond. Dude, I mean, it's a little scary when you think about the implications outside of video games, but within video games, it's pretty fucking cool.
I think even in video games, it's a little scary because it's taking the creator out of the game. I mean, listen, there still has to be an engineer, and that's my thing with AI. I am not against AI by any means. I think it's a very great tool, and we're in the very primitive stages of AI right now, which is insane to even think about.
Right.
But I'm a huge supporter of AI in the workplace, in gaming, and all these different entertainment, really. Like I saw, and I don't want to go too off topic here, but I saw AI being used to dub a movie in different languages and to remove like explicit language so they can make a TV version of the movie. So it was that movie where the girls are stuck on that tower really high up in the sky. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what movie I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So there's a part where she's like, I'm so fucking sick and tired of this. And they used AI to make her mouth like not move. And they muted it. And then they had her redub it. And she said, I'm so sick of this freaking. So they had a TV version of it. And then they used AI to make her mouth say freaking instead of fucking. Cool. And then they did it to do different languages. So we will no longer have live action dubs where you see the person's mouth moving and different words you hear different words. We're actually in the future going to be able to have movies where actors are moving their mouths to the other language and it's dubbed to a different language.
That's
so
interesting.
There's a lot of really cool things that you could do with AI right now. And it's in entertainment already. It's being used all the time. It is scary, and I think it's a little scary in the gaming world as well. But there always has to be an engineer. So it's not like we're losing our jobs to AI. We're just actually creating a job, because there has to be an engineer that knows how to tune the AI to get exactly what you like.
Right.
For example, with Midjourney, the AI isn't just, it doesn't exactly know exactly what you want. Someone has to type in the perfect parameter to get the
Right.
image that you want, right?
Right. For now.
For now.
For now. Yeah.
My thing is, I've been to a bunch of workshops about AI, and my thing is like, AI isn't going to steal our jobs, but if anything, someone using AI is going to steal your job if you're not using AI. It's just another tool.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But back into the video game
I agree.
space.
Yeah.
I mean, the implications of this is pretty fucking insane.
It's cool. And yeah, I think from a storytelling, like immersive, or not immersive, emergent gameplay perspective. I mean, immersive too, but from an emergent perspective, I think really cool things could be done with this. And the fact that it's already available, it's like open source. Well, not open source, but it's available for developers to use, to not have to script your own like AI, like in video games, and like create parameters around. I mean, I could see implications with this too, about how combat interactions, happen, how what movesets are, how enemies are integrated, all those other things. I think this is massive, and maybe could help de-bloat some AAA budgets with video games when you don't have to script a lot of this stuff yourself, when you save development time and cost.
I feel like the prototyping process alone could use this, and maybe it doesn't make it into the final build, but just using that to quickly generate some side quests to test out in the game, like I feel like that would save a lot of time.
Yeah.
Much like I use AI to write certain text in things for work, right?
Yeah. If you're not, what are you doing?
Right.
Yeah.
This isn't the first Nvidia AI project I've seen. I saw another one where they used AI to basically, for podcasts or video content, you can make it look like the on-screen personality is always looking at their camera. So I could be looking at my screen reading, and it looks like I'm looking at the camera.
Yeah.
So that's available. That is something you could download right now.
We're gonna start using it.
It's really good for like webinars or meetings or something like that for work. But I can see even for like podcasting, videos, stuff like that. Yeah, we could always be looking right at the camera.
Yeah, that's cool.
Pretty cool.
So anyway, we'll see. But I thought it was, I was pretty blown away by it, so I wanted to share. So
yeah, absolutely. I think it's really cool, and I'm glad you brought it up.
Yep.
All right, Josh. Last thing for today.
Yeah.
We're finishing up a little early, actually, depending on how long this takes. But we're going to talk about the PlayStation Showcase. So
yeah.
The showcase was last Wednesday.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, Josh. I feel like a lot of people were down on it.
A lot of people. I was too.
But I'm here to tell you that I thought there were some pretty cool things that they showed.
There was some pretty cool things, no doubt.
Do you have a list or something you could share with me of all the stuff that they
Yeah.
have?
Yeah. There you go. Put it in our.
There she is.
So yeah, I don't really want to go through each thing, but I do want to
No.
highlight a couple things. I think first of all, I mean, we're starting at the end. Well, maybe high level thoughts first. First of all, not enough first party stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not enough solid release dates
Snake.
or roadmaps. Not enough actual gameplay. There's a lot of CG trailers, which I if you don't have a game to show me, I don't really want to get hype anymore for that. But I do think there was some cool stuff in here. So I kind of want to maybe start at the end. Is Spider-Man 2. I think it looks great. I'm really excited. I almost feel like they showed maybe too much of it. But it looks good. I'm excited. And Spider-Man is bad and Miles is good. So
yeah, Peter's got the symbiote. Bad stuff's going on with Harry Osborn. Peter's very edgy. And Craven's in the game.
Yes.
I think that this game, and I hope I'm not right, I think this game might be a little too ambitious.
Wow.
We'll see. We'll see, man. I'm hoping it's great, but I feel like it might be a little too ambitious. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So
then we have Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater Delta or whatever announced. It was leaked, unfortunately. I think the trailer was good. Again, it's CG. I don't really have much else to say about it other than I hope it's good and I'm excited for it.
I'm excited that they're remaking 3 because that's the one I'm at right now in my
Mhm.
playthrough of Metal Gear Solid. So I'll be
Yeah.
able to play it with the new entry, which is or the
Yeah.
new remake, which is cool.
Yeah. I only played 1. I might go back and play 1 again with the up-res or whatever they do,
Yeah.
with
I
the
might do that too.
collection. Yeah, and then play 2. They also announced, the Q Lite or whatever it is. I am here to
Project
tell you,
Q.
yeah, I'm interested in the device. I also think it looks really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Just a split DualSense.
It's a split DualSense with a screen in the middle, and it's only for remote play.
Yeah. Then they talked about Assassin's Creed Mirage. I don't think we have anything to say about Assassin's Creed. Alan Wake 2 coming out October 17th. This game looks fucking good. It's awesome. One of the 2 release dates I think we got in the entire showcase. This game looks good. It looks scary. And they are bringing in the entire Wake universe in regards to not just the Alan Wake game, but Control and as well, I guess Remedy universe and stuff they're bringing in from Quantum Break too.
Yeah, I am so here for this game. The colors in the trailer, I love just the vibe of Alan Wake 2,
Way
what we've
more
got so
horror.
far.
Way more horror.
Yeah, and the color for some reason the colors really get me. Like the first trailer we got, it was like black and white was the theme. Now they're introducing some red. I don't know, like it's just like I love it, dude.
That game is going to slap. I'm here to tell you it's going to be a 10 out of 10 for me. I can't wait for it.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 16, they showed
Did not
more.
need to be here.
Absolutely did not need to be here after doing an entire showcase from it a couple weeks ago. Didn't need to see more. That being said, that game looks awesome. It's going to slap.
Yep.
Dragon's Dogma 2. This was big for a lot of people. I've tried Dragon's Dogma 1. Wasn't really my cup of tea, but I know people are excited for it. You have anything to say about that?
I wanted to get into Dragon's Dogma 1, so maybe I'll play that before 2.
Yeah.
Our friend Dave is like really big into it and he speaks high praises.
It's very dense. The first game is very dense. But now I played it when I was younger, so I feel like I'd probably have a higher propensity for it now. But
well, dude, he just Snapchatted me. So he's like one of the biggest Zelda heads I know.
Dave.
Yeah. He just Snapchatted me the other day. He wasn't playing Tears of the Kingdom. He was playing Dragon's Dogma. And I looked at his Switch profile. He hasn't even gotten Tears of the Kingdom yet. My man is just still playing Dragon's Dogma. So I believe you when you say that it is very dense because it seems that that's all he plays.
Yeah. Bungie announced Marathon, which is bringing back an old IP. It's supposed to be a first-person extraction-based shooter. I don't have anything to say about that. It was a CG trailer. Glad to see Bungie doing something else.
I like the visuals. They said that they were very inspired by Mirror's Edge, which I think was very apparent.
Yeah, clean with very select colors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Street Fighter 6, nothing more to say about it.
Don't even know if we needed this either.
Yep. Haven Studios Fair Game Money Sign was at the showcase as well.
Yeah,
CG
I don't even really remember that.
It opened the show.
It looked like Watch Dogs. Like I didn't know what I was getting.
Well, everybody that has worked on Ubisoft or on Watch Dogs is here, including the art director. So
that's why.
Yeah, get ready for that. Talos Principle 2. I played the first game. It was good. This was a nice announcement. One of the most abysmal fucking you win the dumbest fucking game at the showcase award, Foam Stars.
Yeah. It's a hero shooter, right? Or is it?
It is the Splatoon copy, but with foam.
Jizz?
Foam.
Like cum shot?
Yeah. Plucky Squire looked pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been hype on that game.
Yeah.
All right, we're just going through everything now at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. What else do you have to say? Oh, Helldivers 2.
Yeah, Helldivers 2 is cool, and it doesn't look like it's top down anymore.
No.
A lot more was shown off. I don't want to talk about literally every single thing that they showed because there's a lot. But
anything
overall
else big?
No, not really. Well, I don't want to say that because there's going to be a fan of
some PSVR games were there.
Our Resident Evil heads would be happy to hear that.
I think we got the big ones. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so that's that. Now here's the deal. We have a voicemail I want to play to end the show. This is coming from our friend Steven. He used to be one of the hosts here on Hapticast, and he wanted to call in and let us know his thoughts of the showcase. So, unfortunately, I can't pause. Wait, maybe I can.
Hey, fellas. It's Steven.
Okay, I can pause.
Okay, cool.
So if we want to pause and talk about one of his points, we can.
Okay.
I just...
Start over.
Hey, fellas. It's Steven. I just watched the PlayStation Showcase, particularly Josh react to it.
Yeah.
Great job, Josh. We love you. However, I got to rattle off some takes off of the showcase.
Okay.
I didn't think that was very good at all.
Okay. So this is exactly where you were as well after finishing the showcase, correct?
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah.
And I think it's worth mentioning this is coming literally, I think as soon as the showcase ended, Steven called in. So these thoughts are directly off the rip. However, he did say over the weekend, now he feels even worse than this.
Me
I
too.
liked some of the stuff at the beginning, particularly like the independent work from the studio that did Grease or Bryce or whatever that like chill indie like
Sad
summer
Grizz.
game is called.
Sad. Yeah.
Great music, great vibes, and this had a similar feel. The
This is so long, dude.
Night in the Woods team, I'm very
How long?
excited about.
It's still not even showing up on the waveform.
Oh,
So I
boy.
have like a little square of an
Yeah.
icon, and the waveform goes across the whole thing. I'm gonna listen.
I called that in my unprofessional GG review of the game the best written game I've ever played. Perhaps that shows my limited palate for that type of narrative focused games, but I still think that holds true. So that's exciting.
Okay.
There was some other cool stuff. That Phantom Blade Zero with the
That game
splash
looked
through
cool.
it was all right. Not really for me. And I said this to you guys, but it felt like an Xbox showcase to me.
Yeah, because it's
For the good and the bad.
So I agree. It did feel like an Xbox showcase.
Yeah,
It felt like a showcase from a studio that, I'm going to say it, ain't got games.
Yeah, and they haven't talked in 2 years. So
The good thing is, we know now that PlayStation has another state of play or something for later this year.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the rumor.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Right, like they had a lot of third-party support. Some of their exclusives, like Final Fantasy 16. Again, I don't think we had to see that game. It's like a month away, even though
You're right.
it's going to be in the Game of the Year conversation. It looks outstanding. Everyone said it plays outstanding. Got all the makings of an absolute banger and maybe one of the best Square Enix like epic games they've made in like quite some time, which I think is something that hasn't really been talked about.
Yeah.
In my opinion. You know, Helldivers 2, I almost said Hellraisers 2. Helldivers 2, like fun with friends, but
Yeah.
you know.
So that's something I want to talk about. Helldivers 2 could be fucking awesome because to me, it looks like Helldivers 1, but with like a Returnal graphic style.
They moved it to more of it looks like a third-person shooter instead of top-down.
That could be really, really fun.
Yeah.
Because Helldivers was actually pretty fun.
Oh, it is fun. It's very hard and very annoying.
Yeah. Well, it's a roguelite, right? So you're supposed to.
Yeah, but your friends can kill you, so.
Whatever, maybe it'll have a little more staying power than the first one. Because the gameplay was kind of different. The new studios, there's a lot, like the Jade Raymond studio, like Fun Games or whatever with a money sign. I don't get it. The
Same, dude.
Splatoon, but with studs. From Square Enix is probably the most confusing, baffling thing I've like ever seen. I don't understand it. We obviously know. Trying to think what else they've been showed. There's so much like, you know, there was like an indie Breath of the Wild ripoff. Okay, indie like Minecraft / Lego ripoff. I don't even know. Is getting a lot of like studios I never heard of, and a lot of like PG, not actual gameplay. Just
Yeah. Oh, it cut him off. Here's part 2.
all right, so got hung up on by your freaking robot. So I'll be a little quicker.
You talked for 3 minutes,
I already
bro.
explained. I think it was like an Xbox showcase. No first party basically whatsoever except Spider-Man 2, which obviously looks great, but not even a release date for that. It was bizarre.
That's bizarre.
No Last of Us multiplayer. No
which we now know is delayed.
thing from Sucker Punch. No Blue Point or Bend. Didn't seem like the things were ready, so I don't really know how you come out 2 years late.
He says that, but sources claim they have a lot ready.
Yeah, but then why didn't they show it?
I have no idea.
Yeah, sus.
For 2 years from their last showcase and show this, if I'm being honest with you. Like, you had your chance to put the foot on the gas after an embarrassing last few weeks from Microsoft and Xbox. And then, like, today, Xbox fucking trolling you on Twitter, being like, oh, these games look great. And, like, most of them are, like, going to be released on Xbox, like, that you showed. So,
True.
well, I'm like, what is going on? Sleepy Jim Ryan at the wheel. Like, the car is drifting off the road a little bit. And, you know, it's not going to affect anything in the console race. They're going to be fine. They're well positioned, yada, yada, yada. But, like, you know, we have higher expectations on you guys because you're the better game developer. You're the better, you know, planning of your hardware and other things like that. So, again, to reiterate from the first message, but in condensed form, not really good at all. Some interesting, nice things that they showed, but it reminded me of what we've seen with Xbox. We haven't liked what we've seen with Xbox for good reason for years now. And this was a step backwards. I really don't have any other way to describe it. You can understand if the studios aren't ready to show the stuff yet, but like,
True.
maybe you don't hype this up as much, or you don't make it as long too. It was like over an hour. Like,
yeah, it was specifically a showcase and not a state of play.
Exactly. Right.
It was one of, again, they haven't had one in like 2 years. So
yeah,
the hype was real.
It was.
This could have been broken up into two different things, in my opinion.
Well, maybe it is, and that's kind of what the rumors are pointing at, right?
But
yeah,
whatever. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say and give your overall takes and like seeing what's ahead, because if this is like their last big showcase for most of the year, with nothing really pot committed, don't really know how to feel. If Microsoft has a good showcase, like a lot of first party with gameplay and like a plan for the next 12 plus months mapped out, they can do a decent amount, not entirely, but a decent amount to erase the last shitty weeks they've had, and frankly the last few years they've had with the this new generation. Anyway, thanks for taking the call, and I didn't think I would get cut off, but I'll just squeeze it in this time. So thanks again, guys.
All right, so Steven, just so you know,
what an excellent phone call.
He was 8 seconds off from getting cut off again. It does 3-minute chunks, and he was literally 8 minutes away from getting cut off a
8
second
seconds.
time. Yeah. So,
listen,
sorry. Yeah.
Thank you for the call, Steven. I agreed with everything he said.
I mean, he should just come on at this point. I mean, that was
expert analysis. And listen, if you want to come on the show as well, remember it's 904 True Cult. So, you know, call and leave a message with your thoughts.
We'll play 6 minutes of 6 minutes of your audio.
No, Steven gets as much time as he wants. Everybody else doesn't get that much time. So,
well, yes.
All right, Brett. That's it. That's the show. That's 107. What do you have to say to the people before we leave?
I just want to say thank you to everyone for watching our last couple of videos. Because
you got to play the song.
I wanted to thank everybody for watching. You know, our last couple of videos have done really, really well. So thank you for checking those out. And especially thank you to our subscribers. Thank you for clicking that subscribe button. We really appreciate you. On the road to 1,000 subs, we are going to do some kind of a special giveaway. I'm telling you right now, I don't know what it is. But when I figure it out, I'm sure we'll get even more subscribers. So thank you to the OGs that have been here. I love you. Goodbye.